Namaste. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Well, I was looking through my old recordings that I have done, and there was one that was the audio recording of Nithyananda calling Dharma, trying to get Dharma to not follow through on this. And Dharma happened to have the recording of it, of this telephone conversation. Now, I had the link to the original conversation, but I went and looked it up today. And what happens when you go ahead and click the link, it goes to the site that says Nithyananda Audio Confess. This video is no longer available due to a copyright claim by Nithyananda Jnanapeetham. Now, it doesn't say that it's a fake thing, so it needs to be taken down. It says it's a copyright claim. If it's a copyright claim, then they are absolutely saying that this belongs to Nithyananda. And since it's his voice and his conversation, that he wants it taken down. Okay. So again, he has just stuck his foot in it and absolutely has said that that's him on that tape because he's claiming copyright. You can't claim copyright if it's not you. Okay. So let's look at what this conversation was. And you'll see just how off the wall Nithyananda is. He is so disgusting. But let's go ahead and go through the conversation. Now, the conversation in this, this was the police gone to this person that knows Nithyananda, knows everybody involved, has known them for a long time. And they wanted to know if he could tell Nithyananda's voice or not. And he said, yes, absolutely, he could. Okay, but you'll see, you know, this. They do have the forensic ways that you can get a voice analysis and say whose voice it is on these tapes, okay? As well as the forensic analysis of the video. Now the video, let's go through the video very quickly. In India, the CID had the original, and that's what you have to look at, the absolute original file for the video. What Nithyananda sent out was a copy. Of course, it's not going to come back. You know, they're going to say there's problems with it because it's a copy. You cannot assess a copy. You have to have the original. Dharmananda had the original, okay? And the original was, again, looked at by CID, and it has not been morphed. It is not tainted. This is being put into the evidentiary. Okay. The other thing that Dharma has is this audio tape. When Nithyananda called him up and pleaded with him, please don't take this, and he tried to buy Dharmananda off. It wasn't working. He couldn't buy him off. So let's look at what this audio had said. Like I said, I had the link to the original audio up. But Nithyananda claimed copyright. Okay, so thank you for letting us know, absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt, that it's not fake, that it actually is the conversation that you had with Lenin. Oh, brilliant one. Okay, so in this one, you can look this up. I will put the URL at the bottom. You're going to have to copy and paste it in to see the actual transcript. But it has the transcript where they have written it out in English and Tamil as well. Okay. So Nithyananda calls and says, "Hey Dharma, this is Swami dear. Are you doing fine?" Dharma says, I'm fine, please tell Swami. And Nithyananda says, hey Dharma, I promise I won't harm you. I promise I won't harm you. Now why does he have to say this? Because Nithyananda and his gang of thugs can be violent. Okay? They go after people. Okay? If you don't know the Nithyananda ashram, I'm telling you, they can be violent. He says, I promise I won't give you any grief. See, Dharma, I was protecting you, and you were protecting me. Dharma's going, Nithyananda goes, well, now you have to fear me, and I have to fear you. Should it become like this, dear? Should it become like this, dear? Forgive me. And Dharmananda says, it's okay, Swami. Nithyananda says, no, dear. No need, dear. Dharma, forgive me. No need for any of this. Please forgive me. And Dharma goes to try to say something, but Nithyananda cuts in and says, 1 minute, they're taking me to the hospital. Give me a minute. I'll stop the vehicle by the side of the road and talk. And in the original audio, you can hear them stopping the vehicle. And he gets out of the car to have the continued conversation. Dharmananda goes, And Nithyananda is saying, forgive me, Dharma. I'm asking you for forgiveness, Dharma. And his voice is breaking and he sobs. Let's forget whatever happened, Dharma. I promise you. And he sobs again. You yourself find a lawyer and write. I will not harm you in any way. I nor anyone from Jnanapeetam or anyone related to Jnanapeetam will not harm you. I give you this in writing, Dharma. Dharma's going, you know. Nithyananda's saying, I don't want anything else, Dharma. Dharma, another thing, Dharma. If I have harmed anyone else, and if they have cried to you, I fall at their feet and I beg for forgiveness. Then another cell phone rings. 1 minute, Dharma, another phone's ringing. I'll talk to them and come back to you. And he instructs somebody to answer the other phone. Nithyananda goes on to say, legally, what can be done? When both people involved are adults, legally, nothing can be done. Dharma's just, you know, he's still kind of, Nithyananda says, well, what problem do you think we will face legally? Dharma's still, not really saying much. Nithyananda goes on to say, there is nothing here. One extreme, if I just stand up and publicly say, this is my life, it's all over. Devotees are not going to leave me. That's another side. On one hand, what is there? If I come and tell the public straight away, we're two adults, it's our life. If I say this, the matter ends there. Devotees won't leave me and go away. Dharma's going, Nithyananda said, that's on one hand. On the other hand, people came to me only because I'm a jnani, very wise and knowledgeable person, not because I'm a sannyas, a monk or an ascetic. Okay. So nobody will leave me. What is there? Okay, nobody's going to leave. If you see from one side, I'm an enlightened person. That's why everybody, the public's coming. They're not coming because I'm a sannyasi. Nobody's going to leave me and go. What is there? Okay. That's all. Nothing else. One. You see that what is there. If I stand up in public and say, this is my life, then it's all over. It's not as if Osho didn't have sex. So did Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Aurobindo, and Ram Surat Kumar. I also fall into the jnani category like them. What can be done? Don't you understand? Now, I'm going to put something in here. This is egregious. Ramakrishna was married, but they never had sex, okay? Sarada Devi was his wife. They were a celibate couple, okay? I don't know of Vivekananda being with anyone. Aurobindo, yes, had a wife. Osho had a lot of sex. Not enlightened, I don't care what they say. Aurobindo, same, not enlightened. Ram Sarat Kumar, I don't know about him. But let's go on. He also drags we'll just go on, okay? He said, I don't think people will leave me and go. People won't leave me. Do you think our devotees will leave me and go away? And then Dharmananda mumbled something, but it's not audible. Nithyananda goes, hello? Public and devotees, do you think they will leave me? No need for all of that to happen. Without making this a big problem, I feel we should be silent. That's why I want to do everything silently. Okay? If our people get emotional for that also, we will only be held responsible. And Dharmananda is going, yes, yes. He said, that's why for everything, I want it to be handled silently. I'm working so hard on this. He's going, He said, when Vivekananda was alive, they created problems because Nivedita was with him. Because of that, only he had to leave his body. Absolute nonsense. Okay? Vivekananda died of a heart attack. Okay? He didn't leave his body because he was with somebody. Okay? Ramakrishna faced similar problems because Sarada Devi was with him. What to say? No, Sarada Devi and Ramakrishna were married, but they were celibate. Okay? So this idea that he's trying to drag everybody in there and make it as if they were having this sex as well, like he has done, wearing the robes of a sannyasi, claiming to be a celibate. And again, may I remind you, they took down the audio. Why? Because he's claiming copyright. In other words, he said this conversation. Okay? It's not faked. It's not made up. It's copyright issue. They took the original down. But luckily, we have the transcript. Okay? He goes on to say, this is when he just continues, Rama Maharishi also had one old lady, Mudaliar Pati, living with him. She lived at the ashram. They were not having sex. Okay? Yet again, he's going to try to smear Ramana Maharishi, Ramakrishna. All of these genuine jnanis, he's going to try to smear because of his misdeeds. Because he can't keep it in his pants. And he's proclaiming to be something other than what he is. This is why he was freaking out at the beginning. This is why he starts saying, and what he says about sannyasi has nothing to do with sannyas. Okay? Has nothing to do with it. He says, I think that human beings are like this only. So what to do? No, human beings are not all like that. Some of us can actually be celibate. And we're celibate and have been celibate for years. Okay? So you wonder why I'm upset with this nonsense when it all broke? And when it all broke, at first he was not denying he was having sex. At first there's that you can see the document where he was saying, oh yeah, I've had sex with so many I don't even remember the names or who they are. And then came the story, oh no, I can't have sex. I'm like a child. I just absolutely can't have it. His story changed so many times. Okay. Anyway, it goes on and says that they see the non-disclosure agreement shown by you. And he goes on to talk about the non-disclosure agreement. Okay. Anyway. But again, this conversation took place. He's not denying it. He actually claimed the copyright and had the video taken down. Okay. So why am I putting these things up? Why do I continue to do this? Because people need to understand what he is. He is not an avatar. He's not even a good guru, let alone an avatar. He's a liar, okay? This idea of Shaktis, that there's much more enlightened than cities. You'll not find anything about Shaktis in any of the texts. He says he teaches from the Agamas, okay? And that when you're getting the Shaktis, you're coming into that Shaivite mind. Okay? 100% not. Cities include things like being able to heal people, actually feeling what's going on with them, being larger, being smaller. All of these things begin to take place in consciousness. Not moving coconuts, manifesting doodads in your fingers, and all these other magicians, low-level magicians tricks that he's teaching people. And then claiming that they're putting you in a still mind of oneness. Nonsense. Okay? I don't like people being made fools of by con artists like him. Okay? Yes, I've had a lot of nonsense thrown at me, most foul language imaginable. They tried to smear me. They've called for my destruction by any means. This was on a video, and then they took it down, trying to look like they've cleaned up their act. Okay? Because they know I'm not going away. Okay? Oh, I'm going to be destroyed by Kal Bhairav. Right. I'm still here. May I remind you? Okay? All these years, all your threats. How many have made those threats against me? What, at least 50, 60 people have made those threats, and you're all working under the power of the great Nithyananda? You have his backing to do this? Okay? May I remind you I'm in perfect health. Okay? So all the things that they've tried to do with their curses and their threats, and none of them ever come up with something intelligent to say. Okay? They have no wisdom, they have no understanding. All they can do is mutter and scream foul profanities, try to be as disrespectful as they can, and think that they're doing something great. Okay. Again, this only shows that there is no wisdom gained there. All he does is gives a bunch of doublespeak. His videos make no sense. If you actually read the text, what he's trying to explain, he'll take something out of context and spin it 180 degrees away from what it's actually pointing to. Okay? So again, I just wanted to put this up again, and I will put the link underneath of it as to where you can see that indeed the video was taken down because he was claiming copyright issues. Yes, Nithyananda, and they all think they're so brilliant, but they don't see they are their own undoing. And again, all of these things that I'm bringing up and showing will be in the court case coming up. They have stalled it and stalled it and stalled it. But the High Court finally said, this is enough of your stalling. We need to go forward, and it needs to only be the things on the charge sheet, as the charge sheet is. You cannot bring in all these unfounded, undocumented things that they're trying to get people, affidavits for them to sign. Not allowed. His phonied up impotency tests that he paid for, not allowed. The genuine potency test will be admitted, okay? His phony forensic thing that he got because it was a copy, they couldn't do a forensic thing. That's where the irregularities came in. Not because it was morphed, because he gave them a copy, okay? The genuine one that was looked at by the Indian CID will be put into evidence, not morphed. Gee, I wonder how this is going to turn out. This tantric sex document that he makes people sign, you know, for those that want to claim, oh, he's pure as a driven soul. He doesn't have sex. Yes, he does. It's in the document. Okay, those documents are genuine. The non-disclosure agreements are genuine. They will all be put into evidence for his trial, which is coming up very, very soon. Thank God. It's only been stalled for 7 years by him and his unreputable lawyers. But the day of judgment is coming, and he cannot escape it forever. So again, this is only one more little piece of evidentiary happenings in the Nithyananda scandal. Okay. And again, I don't care how many of you out there want to call me names, want to sit and scream and yell, and whatever it is you're doing, you're welcome to it. But truth is truth, and it's not going to change, no matter how much you don't want to believe it or wish that it would change. It's not going to, okay? The truth will win out in the end. So, namaste, everyone. Pretty soon, we only have a couple more days, and a new year begins, okay? And I hope in this new year that court case will finally go forward. The Indian judiciary is a strange place. If you've never been to an Indian court, I have. Okay, I've seen some of the so-called documents that the Nithyananda spinning team has put online, and they're nothing more than having gone to the court, and during the court you can always find a notary to sit there and stamp whatever sort of nonsense you want to put out there. Those are mostly what I saw there was notary stamps, okay? Not from the court, not a court case, or a finding. It was notary stamps. I guess you just have to live there to understand what's going on. And the Indian courts do not have trial by jury. Okay, the evidence gets promoted by by one side and the other side. Like I said, all of this went up to the Supreme Court, the apex court, they call the apex, very top apex Supreme Court, as to what could be put into the evidence and what can't. And the final outcome was that Nithyananda's lawyer needs to quit stalling, and the only things that can be put in are from the original charge sheet. In other words, all this monkey nonsense that Nithyananda's been doing, none of it is allowed in evidence. So they've been spinning their wheels, trying to stop the wheels of justice for nothing. Okay, they stalled for 7 years. Okay, but now it's time for it to go forward. January 6th. So I hope this is the final end to it, that the judge will get the evidence, look, and decide the case. Okay. So I'm going to leave this here. Hope everyone has a wonderful holidays. And I hope that Nithyananda gets his just rewards. Okay. Karma will come back to slap him upside the head. Yes. Namaste.